Persona 5 brought back some cool mechanics that were in the original game. One of these is for each of the party members to have guns, or at least ranged weapons. Many of the guns in the game are based on real guns. In New Vegas, I use a lot of weapon mods that add real-life guns to the game. So I had an idea. Can you beat Fallout New Vegas as Joker? Joker uses semi-automatic pistols. They are as follows: IMI Desert Eagle, Colt M1911, Norinco Type 54, Sig Sauer P226. The Norinco Type 54 is a Chinese copy of the TT Tokarev, so I will be allowing Tokarevs. There's also a variant of the weapon in the game named after the Makarov, so I will allow Makarovs. Knives and machetes are also allowed, but I didn't use one once. If you choose a male character in New Vegas or Fallout 3, they always end up looking like an old man. I found this mod that adds a younger looking male race option in the character creator. There's only a Caucasian option, but it's still cool. Also, it adds more eye colors that replace the ones from Beauty Pack Plus, so I can't make his eyes gray. Now for special stats. I went with 9 in Charisma because Joker can date a whole harem of girls. And luck at 2 because what are the odds you save a woman from being abused by a politician and she says you assaulted him? And then, your parents send you away to live in some guy's attic. I put Agility and Endurance at 7 so I can be decent with a gun and take some hits. More on that second part in a moment. For tank skills, I went with Guns, Sneak, and Lockpick. Perfect for a Phantom Thief. For traits, I went with Four Eyes and Good Natured. There are reading glasses in Doc Mitchell's house that we will wear for the whole playthrough. The armor we're going to wear until much later on is formal wear, which I just give myself. It has 0 DT. How do I end up doing so many challenges like this? We can't use the 9mm pistol Doc Mitchell gives us because it's a Browning high power, but luckily there is a Soviet pistol in the schoolhouse. It is a Makarov. We're in and out of there like Adam in the Zion General Store. The sights on this thing really suck. I'm using a classic Fallout leather armor mod, and for some reason the back is open when it's worn by females. I have a bunch of creature mods that add more life to the Mojave. It's cool to see things like this snake chasing an iguana. After dealing with the powder gangers, I go to where Barton Thorne's non-existent girlfriend is. There's a 10mm pistol up there. I'm allowing it because it's based on the Desert Eagle. I'm using Toasty Fresh's 10mm pistol replacer. I wandered past Prim and killed some ghouls. One even spawned right in front of me and jump scared me. I got to the Mojave Outpost and picked up some quests. Then I went across the dry lake and found a 1911 in the Prospector's Den. It bothers me that in New Vegas, 45 is more powerful than 10mm. That's not the case in real life. The ants were easy as always. I checked the store at the outpost again and they had a 357 autoloader. It's also based on the Desert Eagle. I headed over to Nipton and slaughtered all the Legionnaires. A random prospector helped out. After that, I finally decided to go to Prim. One of the convicts had a better looking Makarov. Inside the Bison Steve, Beagle died fighting convicts. How sad. More importantly, one of them had a Chinese service pistol. I got the Courier's Stash quest from Nash and reprogrammed Prim Slim. After checking the first dead courier, I checked Johnson Nash's store and he had a TT Tokarev. I bought it and went back to Goodsprings to upgrade weapons, most notably giving the Makarov a silencer. Now it's time to go towards Novak. Some Legion assassins attacked me at the same time as some NCR deserters, but there are 2 prospectors to help me. I was able to take care of them by using cover and my highest DPS gun. I went back to Goodsprings to sell stuff, and Chet had a chrome finish for the Makarov. I think I like the Bakelite more, but this one better suits Joker. I felt like killing some more Legion losers, so I went to the raid camp and freed the Powder Ganger slaves. When I got to Novak, I got an extended magazine for the Makarov. Now it's completely modded out. I walked into Manny Vargas's room and read his private terminal. He seemed to be completely fine with that. The terminal said we need to go to Boulder City. I stopped by the 188 outpost to go to the Gunrunner's merchant. He had a different Tokarev for sale, so I bought it. At Boulder City, I snuck up behind the cons to get to the hostages. I untied them, and the idiots ran through the door towards the cons. One of them died. Oh well, at least I saved one. I went back to Good Springs to get an extended magazine for my Chinese service pistol. Then I went north and killed all the cazadors. Back at the 188, I was confused by this guy wearing a Centurion helmet. He was a traveling merchant that I sold it to before. I didn't know merchants would equip things you sold them. Outside the Repcon building, I got attacked by both Legion and Great Khan assassins. I ran away from that. Now we're gonna go towards the strip. I found this cannibal with a really wide head inside a follower's building. It's added by the More Small Locations mod, which adds a little more stuff to the Mojave. At the Gunrunners, I bought this cool 44 Desert Eagle. I also bought a 12.7mm Desert Eagle, but I didn't end up using it. After that, I headed north up to the Last Dead Courier. So I only recently realized that you don't have to pay the Securitron 2000 caps to get into the strip. You just have to have it, which I almost always do by the time I get to Freeside. I guess that's neat. I think it's weird how the Securitrons make you have a credit check at all. You're the courier. Shouldn't Mr. House know you're coming? Why would he make you take the time to get the caps like you're just some random wastelander? Anyway, I go to meet Mr. House and unlock the presidential suite to store stuff. Going to the tops, I persuade Benny to go up to his suite without his guards. Now we can steal his heart, and by that I mean shoot him in the face. We take his treasure and meet Yes Man. He wants us to take out Mr. House, but first we're going to return the chip to get the reward. After the demonstration, I killed all the Securitrons and disabled his cerebral interface thingy. Yes Man took control of the Lucky 38, and now I have to meet all the factions. I went into Gamora, but instead of doing their quest, I'm just going to rob them blind. The Casino Heists mod adds vaults to the 3 active casinos that you can break into. Very fitting for role-playing as a Phantom Thief. I'm just going to be doing the Gamora one for this playthrough. I'd recommend downloading this mod and playing it yourself if you want to see the others. Each of the casinos has a blueprint you can steal that reveals its vault's location. Gamora's is in Big Sal's office. I picked the lock on the door to the upstairs. That turned the guard hostile, but I took him out before he discovered me with the silenced Makarov. Luckily that doesn't turn the whole casino hostile. Big Sal's office is locked with a very hard lock. So, I pickpocketed him for the key. After taking the blueprint, we find that we can sneak into the vault through the vents. There's a ladder on the outside of the building that will take us up to a door. In here there's a hole that leads to a room with Omerta guards. I take a few of them out from above and jump down to take out the last one. In the next room there's a ventilation shaft that leads right to the vault. Among the goodies is a ton of pre-war money and a single gold bar. The next faction we're going to meet is the Boomers. When I get there, I realize I'm still lugging around this 35-pound bar of gold and go back to the Gunrunners. I do some of the Boomers' quests, and then I remember I can actually just ignore them since I'm doing a Yes Man playthrough. So I leave them to deal with the bomber themselves. I go to Fiend territory to head towards the Great Khans. I have a mod that adds a new compound for Cook. He and his fiends aren't initially hostile towards the player. It implements his cut dialogue too.
I'm Cook, bitch.
I tried to take them on, but they were pretty difficult, so I left. There's a fantastic player home mod that I use called Twin Rock's Abode. When I discover it, I retire the Makarov and put it up on one of the cool weapon displays. I've been using it a lot and I want to use the Tokarev more. I'm at the Great Khans, but I don't have footage of it because I ran out of recording space. It wasn't anything interesting, I just showed up there and left. I'll be ignoring them. I was gonna go to the Brotherhood next, but for their quest they take your clothes and mine are broken. So at this point, I think it's late enough to get the in-game armor I'll wear. The other outfit I'm allowed to use is the Riot Gear, from the Lonesome Road DLC. To get to it, we just have to go into the Divide and get Eddie. In the same room we get him, there's a dispenser that will sell us the Riot Gear. Immediately after buying it, I turn around and leave. Sorry, Eddie. Now that we've done that, I go to the Brotherhood and get the Ranger to leave.
How did you resolve the situation?
After I get the collar off, I'm out of there. The last faction we have to meet is the White Gloves. I actually will be doing their quest. Heck Gunderson's son is missing, and we have to find out what happened to him. We planned on meeting an investigator, but it turns out he was murdered in his room. Some White Gloves showed up and tried to give us the same fate, but their canes were no match for my gun. Shocking. The investigator had a matchbook that told us to meet with some guy. He said Mortimer is planning to feed Heck's son to all the White Gloves and turn them into cannibals. Then an assassin showed up and killed him. After dealing with the assassin, I filched some keys from Mortimer so we can sneak into the kitchen. We free Ted from the freezer and sneak him out back to Heck. Now that we've met all the factions, we can save the president, which goes smoothly. Now Yes Man wants us to put the module in the computer at the substation. Like usual, a stealth boy keeps us from having to fight the NCR. I tried to get the followers to support an independent Vegas, but I couldn't get them to accept. I even did their quests, and they still wouldn't do it. I don't know what the problem was. Now we can fight the second Battle of Hoover Dam. I was using the Desert Eagle to kill legionaries. Everything was going fine, and then a Securitron decided to blow me up. Very cool. This time he didn't blow me up. This little corner kept me nice and safe. Once inside the dam, we get the heavies to leave and install Yes Man. Because I didn't upgrade the Securitrons at the fort, we have to blow up the dam's generators. Doing this turns the NCR hostile, so I used a stealth boy to bypass the troopers. When I got to the Legate's camp, I convinced him to fight one-on-one. I killed him with the Deagle and prevented him from becoming the Prime Minister. But that isn't the end of it. I didn't have a speech magazine, so we're gonna have to take on Oliver and his rangers. This was the hardest part of the challenge. All of them were attacking me instead of the Securitrons, so even if I killed one or two of them, I'd still die. I tried to run away behind a corner to let the Securitrons deal with them, but I didn't have enough time. I tried to use Turbo, but General Oliver takes so much time to walk up, it's over before it lets me draw my weapon. The time I was successful, I used every chem I had and got lucky that half the Rangers turned around and attacked the robots. This was after like 20 minutes of trying. We finally get to talk to Yes Man and beat Fallout New Vegas as Joker. Thank you for watching. I might do more challenges as Persona characters, so subscribe if you want to see that. Feel free to leave suggestions for other challenges in the comments.